Joining me now, Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. Matt, great to see you.
Great to be with you, Lou.
Let's start with how would you have ever fancied that everything, and I mean everything, would be breaking President Trump's direction as we wind down this year? Whether it is the special counsel, that is breaking his way because the collusion is primarily between Obama and Clinton and their acolytes, and even Russia, it appears. Whether it's the economy, in which he is looking at the most remarkable performance of any president in American history in his first year in office, whether it's foreign policy, where his decisions, his policies, his doctrines are being demonstrated to have won the support of our allies and the high regard of our allies in nearly every quarter of the world.
Yeah, and I just came back from Japan where we had our first Japanese CPAC, and let me tell you, the relationship between Abe and President Trump is strong, and the Japanese people greatly appreciate the respect that President Trump is showing them. And I'd say two things, Lou. The first thing is this president has decided that he's going for all the campaign promises. Most Republicans say, look, I said these things, I'll have to go for some, I'll have to relent on some. Donald Trump is going for all those promises, and I think it's making a big difference. I think the second thing is on this, specifically on this tax bill, the president, I think, has had a good gut in knowing the changes that needed to be made along the way, and I think it's a lot of his leadership on this issue that he'll be signing a bill very soon.
Yeah, you know, you said a good gut, and I understand the praise of intuitive success. But I think it's time for people to start talking about the man's intellect, about his judgment, and suggesting he's intuiting all of this. I think is a disservice to him, not by you, but by others.
No, I agree with that.
This is a president making tough judgments in the face of a firestorm of criticism and 360 degrees of attempted subversion of his presidency.
Yeah, that's right. Look, they don't think he's a legitimate president, or they know he's legitimate, but
they don't want to. I don't even want to carry their water. I mean, I really don't even want to hear that anymore. I agree. And the second thing is that, and I can tell you how many times my wife and I talked about this during the campaign, is that the intellect and the insights into what the arguments really are and to what the opposition's really trying to do, he has been right. After everyone complains about this tweet or that tweet, it turns out over the course of this year, he's been right about the major questions. And I think the American people eventually, even those that have been a little more cynical, are going to come his way when they see the impact on their lives. Yeah, and if they don't, shame on them, because this is empirically now a president who's established his capacity, his talent, his intellect in administering the country. It's really quite something to behold.
And I want to add something to that, Lou. I actually think he's a good political leader. I actually think he's doing a good job of leading a pretty tough coalition of folks around this country, and I give him great credit for it.
Yeah, and bringing both the majority leader and the Speaker of the House into accord is not the least of his accomplishments in that regard either. Matt Schlapp, as always, great to see you, partner. Thanks so much.